when the team thing happened in 20 something like that, whatever. But I just remember I was infatuated with the case. I hugged her behind her and I said, "You don't end up like that in the team of the."
In this seemingly bizarre interrogation of Adam Fravel, he realizes he's a suspect in the disappearance of Madeline Kingsbury, his ex-wife, and the mother of his 2 children. What stunned detectives was that he was obsessed with the Gabby Petito case, a case eerily mirroring his own.
She said that 2 times instead she went to French Street to hit up with him.
Okay.
In the interrogation room, Adam seems cooperative. However, despite his apparent honesty, the detectives still had pressing questions waiting for him, as something more sinister seemed to be lurking beneath the scenes.
I noticed you have like a scratch on your nose, a little bit on your neck. What happened there? There's just some things that aren't adding up, you know?
With every passing moment, suspicion deepened. Adam was hiding something, and the clock was ticking for detectives to uncover the truth.
My biggest fear right now is that this is
No, I get it.
this is mimicking that case.
I get it.
And the guy that's infatuated that case is sitting right in front of me.
On March 31st, 2023, 26-year-old Madeline Kingsbury dropped off her 2 children at daycare. It seemed like the start of a typical day, but Madeline never showed up for work at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. Investigators obtained a search warrant for the home she shared with her ex-husband, 29-year-old Adam Fravel. Her phone, jacket, purse, and laptop were all found inside, but there were no signs of a struggle. The last trace of her was a text to her sister at 8:15 a.m. As days passed with no sign of Madeline, whispers of concern turned into alarms. With few leads and rising urgency, police turned to the one person who last saw her alive, Adam. With that, the detectives brought him in for questioning, hoping he could fill in the blanks of Madeline's sudden disappearance. But what started as a routine interview would soon unravel a chilling web of secrets.
We didn't become closer than friends until I was rushing the fraternity and she was in the sorority. And so through Greek life is how we started dating and everything.
Okay.
So Thursday night, after the kids go to bed, you and Maddie talk at all or have any time?
No, we don't. No. Because actually, we recently kind of broke up. For the past week, has been, we haven't been hanging out or sitting down or talking or anything like that. Thursday night, I play a lot of video games. So I would assume I went on the computer downstairs and was playing video games with friends.
Like online?
Yep, I play a game called RuneScape. RuneScape, it's just a stupid name, but I spend a lot of time on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then she's just upstairs, or?
Yeah, she likes to do puzzles. She likes to read books.
And okay, forgive me, but the house is pretty dirty.
It is, yeah, I know.
So I have a hard time trying to envision her putting a puzzle together somewhere because there's no room.
It was on the table. There should be pieces on there.
On the kitchen table?
On the kitchen
'Cause I mean,
table.
there's like a big box on there right
Yep.
now and clothing.
So she probably hasn't been working on the puzzle for a while then. Probably been doing, she did pencil, or whatever it's called.
Okay.
I think she has one of those down at her desk downstairs even.
Okay.
I know she can, sometimes she does those on the floor too.
Oh, sure.
You set up paper.
Yep.
Move it.
Everybody lives their way. Is that how your home normally is? Or is it because
No,
you
it's
guys
because
are
of the
kind of
move.
moving?
No, it's because of the move. It's not normally that messy.
Okay.
No, it's because of the move.
So then, tell us about, so we move into Friday then. Anything overnight that happened, or was it just everybody slept?
No, we just slept.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay. So now, like I said, I'm trying to paint the whole picture. So then we move into Friday morning. Tell me about Friday morning then.
Sure.
So this would have been the 31st, just a couple days ago.
So Friday, it started off completely normal. The only thing that was different, I would say, is that we were running about behind. So we dropped off the kids about 8, and that's usually when they start breakfast. Anyways, dropped off the kids together, Maddie and I, and went back home. And then she told me that she had quick meetings, which was normal on her Fridays. She had a quick meeting, and then she was going to go up to Rochester for her patients. And I had planned to do storage runs most of the day, because I didn't have any school to do. Okay, we got back home, and that was planned. I didn't go downstairs at all that day.
The detectives begin by asking seemingly routine questions about Adam's living arrangements with Madeline, gradually steering the conversation toward the days leading up to her disappearance. What Adam doesn't realize is that they're carefully establishing a timeline and giving him the stage to define it himself. By letting him speak freely, they're locking him into a version of events that can later be tested. Any cracks, contradictions, or shifts down the line could be the very thing that exposes the truth in a tactic called potential entrapment. As Adam begins to recount the events of that fateful day, he has no idea that his words are building a case against him.
Probably upstairs for like 15 minutes or so, and then she went downstairs. And then that's the last I got any sort of text or anything from her. I did see her come upstairs and go into the bathroom. The bathroom is right across the hall. I saw her come up there, I think twice. I was going to use the bathroom between 8:15 then and then 10:30, which is, I think that's the time that I left the house.
Okay, so in the morning then, when you guys got up, like, tell me more about how you got up then. Like, what time you think you got up? You said you were running 15 minutes late.
Yeah, because Ellie is very, she's just a very picky with what her clothes are. So we couldn't get her to put clothes on. So that's why we were running behind. She just didn't want to put clothes on.
Okay.
And that's fine. Like it's not like that's very unusual. We've been late to daycare before.
Right. So then, so you drive to daycare together, and why do you? Can I ask why you guys? Because I mean, you stayed up a long time. So is that a big deal that you take the kids together, or
It's just been what we've done forever. You know,
Okay.
we've just always taken, it's just kind of our
yeah?
parenting thing. You know, we just got the kids off and pick them up together.
Okay, man. So then you leave there, and she's driving, and did you guys go straight home, or did you go anywhere else? Okay. And then you get home 8:15.
We got home. If you look at my phone, because Maddie sent me $20 that morning to put gas in the van because I was going to do storage runs. If you look at whatever time she sent that, that would have been when we just got home and got in the driveway.
So does she kind of handle the finances, or what, or how does that work?
I would say, well, she brings home the money,
Right.
but I guess I take care of it, just paying the bills online and stuff.
But so do you like have a checkbook that you pay, or you pay them online? So you go online and pay them, but if you need cash or something, you get it from her.
Yeah, I don't necessarily ask her for, like I have my own money to like, buy treats or stuff like that, or
Right.
clothes or something, but for bills, yeah, she was sending money. And if I needed gas money or something, she got to do it.
Typically send it through Apple.
Apple Pay. Yeah.
Okay.
The revelation that Madeline was the primary provider in the household added a new layer of complexity to the case, hinting at possible tension beneath the surface. Why would Adam risk losing the person he relied on to support himself and their children? But when the conversation seems to circle the familiar, Adam lets something slip. A seemingly small detail that cracks the facade and hints at something darker.
I'm the type of guy that, like, when I have something planned out and it doesn't go the way I want it to, it makes me mad. It makes me angry. I just kind of, so like when I came back home, I didn't go to the storage unit. I just came home, and then I just emptied the van, and that was just it for the day. And then I just went inside and played games with my listeners to it. It was a lazy day, but yeah.
Okay.
And so this would have been, choice is like 30 minutes from Winona or so, you know, so then I would have been back 1 hour later.
Okay. So you left Winona, would you say around 10:30?
Yep.
Okay, so you leave Winona around 10:30, and did you tell her you were leaving, or what?
I texted her, yep.
Okay.
I didn't go downstairs and like physically say it, but I texted her. Just because that's the way it was that whole week. It was just kind of, not hostile, but like, we were just doing our own thing.
Sure.
And so I didn't bother to go down there and tell her, but I just texted her that, hey, I'm getting ready to leave.
Did you get gas if she gave you $20?
I got gas, afterwards, before I started loading the van.
Where?
A Quick Trip, the one right across the street.
So what time do you think that was?
Probably 10:15. I could look at my card. I use my card. I could look at the time on that.
Okay.
I would say 10:15. It was before I left. Really?
You were already packed up though?
I wasn't packed up. No, it was before I packed up.
So you got gas and then came back to the house and packed up?
Then packed up. Yep.
Okay.
And then I sent her a text to let her know that I was leaving.
Okay, so it only took you, so if you filled up around 10:50, it only took you a few minutes to get gas and it only took you a few minutes to load up the stuff?
Yeah.
So what all did you load up?
It would have been a couple of coats, a couple boxes, and a Christmas tree. Yes, what I had.
So then when you realized you had the wrong stuff, you headed out at 10, so at 10:30 or whatever, what, 10:30ish, you sent your text, you then drove to Choice by yourself and realized at that point you had the wrong stuff, so you turn around,
Turning around.
you come back and you come back and what time do you think you got back? You said about an hour?
That would have been about an hour later, this half hour.
Okay.
So about an hour later,
And then,
backed up and unloaded the stuff.
and where'd you put the stuff, in the garage or
Back in the garage.
Okay.
We try to keep that front area clear,
Mhm.
but we push stuff up against the back wall.
So the Christmas tree, a couple totes, some
There were a
boxes?
couple totes there, a couple boxes, and a Christmas tree.
Okay. So when you had the Choice, did you make any stops anywhere?
When it went to Choice.
Or when you left your house to go to Choice, or were you intending to go to your parents, right?
Yes, I didn't even go to my parents, because I thought I loaded stuff that had to come to my parents. So that was the intention.
Yep.
And then when I realized I had the wrong stuff, I turned around and came straight back. I didn't make any stops in between dumping.
Yeah. No stops,
No.
okay.
No. So I got gas before I even left. So.
So then you get back to the house, you said about an hour after you left.
Mhm.
So like 11:30-ish?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, or do you think it was later or earlier or
I would say that was right on. Yeah.
about an hour?
Yeah.
So then you just sat inside and had a lazy day, played video games?
I got inside. The TV was still on, and then my laptop was just sitting there. So I just started playing video games.
Adam's tale of a mix-up and a detour seems like a convenient cover for the gaps in his timeline. Now, armed with evidence, the detectives are prepared to challenge the cracks in his story.
Did you check the house to see if she was there?
Yeah. No, well, so when I got back home, I noticed that that's when my car was still there. And I was figured she would be gone. But that's when I noticed that my car was still there. And so my first instinct or whatever was that maybe she got a carpool, or her patience canceled for the day. I had to just in case she could cancel. And then yeah, I just came back inside. And then shortly after playing on RuneScape or whatever for a little bit. And then I think I texted her when I got back home too. And I still haven't gotten any response from her all day. So then I remember going downstairs and she wasn't there. So then I figured she must have got a carpool. And so that's just what my assumption was today. Until 3:30, I started texting her again like, hey, you're gonna be back for pick up with the kids? Any plans for supper? I couldn't get any response, so I just, at 4 o'clock when it was time to go get the kids, I just left. And then I remember texting her. I should back up a little bit. Before that, I started putting a bag together for the kids. I was gonna bring Noah down to my grandparents. So I was putting a bag together for the kids, and like halfway through that, I just thought, well, I might as well pack stuff for Ellie too, because I haven't heard from Maddie all day. So I packed up stuff for the kids, and then went to pick them up. And then after I put the kids in the car seat, I think I sent Maddie another text, or I called her, or I tried calling her, and no response. And then I just went, break them daycare to my parents' place.
Yeah, and you gave, it sounds like yesterday you gave your phone to Anita.
Yep.
And so I was just looking at the text messages right now. It looks like at 10:29, you said got gas and van stuff ready to go. Gonna leave soon. When do you have to leave? Are you just gonna stay home?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then, when you picked up the kids at daycare, how did that go?
I guess I was a little nervous just because I haven't heard from her, but I wasn't necessarily worried. But that went completely fine. She picked up the kids and
They say anything? Like, 'cause do you guys normally pick them up together, or?
we normally do, but it's not out of the ordinary for one of us to get them.
Right.
It's just kind of circumstances where they sometimes she has to work really early, so like I'll drop off the kids alone. Sometimes she'll have to work late, or she'll be running late, and then I'll pick up the kids. That's not unusual at all. And Brooke, our daycare, I'm just talking to her.
I thought you told me yesterday that, Madeline picks up the kids 95% of the time.
We both do. Not just Maddie, we both do.
Maybe I misunderstood
Yeah,
you.
we both do it. Yeah.
Okay.
And Brooke she'll certainly confirm that.
I think this whole situation is strange, and the story is kind of wild.
I'm just as confused as you guys, you know what I mean? Like, and I know, I get it, I'm a suspect, we recently broke up and everything, I get it. But I'm completely complying. I mean, right?
Yeah, you've been great.
okay.
You've been
Yeah.
cooperative, absolutely, and I appreciate that.
Whatever
and
you
thank
guys
you
need.
for that. I'm struggling with where she went.
I know.
The detectives subtly reference the text messages Adam sent before Madeline's disappearance. As he begins to let his guard down, they will soon press him on the suspicious tone of those messages. Sensing the pressure, Adam acknowledges he's a suspect, but insists he wants to cooperate, thinking that it will make him look less guilty. The detective sees this opportunity, steering the conversation toward the reason behind the separation. In doing so, Adam unknowingly hands them a possible motive for murder on a silver platter.
Was Maddie, it sounds like she had some anxiety issues, but she wasn't or anything like that.
No, I would never say she's been. Well, obviously I know what
How is
she's
she with the kids? Is she a good mom?
She's a great mom. She's an awesome mom. I couldn't ask for a better mother to my children. She's a great mom.
Does she lie or anything like that? Is she a liar?
Lie?
Does she normally lie to people or anything, or
No.
lie to you or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
So it sounds like though she told you that week that she was seeing Spencer
Yep.
again.
Well, she would have told me that a couple weeks ago.
So it kind of speaks to her being truthful.
Yep.
So she's upfront with you about Spencer,
She
or
told me about it, yeah.
do you think she was ever not upfront with you about Spencer, or?
Well, I asked her that. Like, when she started telling me the stories and everything, I just said, just get it all out,
Mhm.
There's no reason to hold back now. And, there was no other details or anything. All she did was, she just said that there were 2 times in the past couple of months that instead of going to a coffee shop to study, she said that 2 times instead she went to Spencer.
Okay. And she told you about that?
She told me.
Okay, so pretty honest.
Yeah, she would, yeah.
But you guys are kind of,
Crying and, she was hurt and everything.
yeah. And so how did that make you feel, Adam? I mean, that would be pretty,
I was hurt. I was definitely hurt.
Were you-
But the thing is before the Spencer thing, a couple weeks before that even, we sat down and so I would say about a month ago, we had a good talk, and it was a mutual thing that we just didn't have the love. It was more, we both felt like we were both staying together for the children, maybe probably were for each other. And we've been going to therapy, a couple of therapies since January as well. And it seemed like it was going well, just the time went on, and just, we go back into our, old habits, and we just realized we just needed to Great.
You,
About 2 weeks after that, which is going to be Spencer.
okay. So about a month ago and then 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does she use a bunch of social media platforms like Instagram?
Me or her?
Her, Maddie.
Yeah. She uses, like all of them. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I can't think of any of those. Personally, I'm not a big social media person, but she was, yes.
Adam just made a critical misstep. Not only did he hint at jealousy over Madeline seeing someone new, which indicates a potential motive, but he also slipped up, referring to her in the past tense. I'm not big on social media, but she was. That subtle shift doesn't go unnoticed by the detectives. It's a red flag for the detectives and the perfect moment to turn up the heat. Meanwhile, hundreds united in the search, with around 500 volunteers boarding buses from the Goodview Fire Department, all determined to bring Madeline home. But every second that passes pushes hope further out of reach.
In some of the information we've gathered, Adam, it doesn't sound like Thursday went as good as you're saying.
Oh.
She made some references to people that we've talked to that Thursday wasn't a good day at all.
How was Thursday at home with you and Maddie?
Oh, you know what? Thursday was the day that I remember, Thursday was the day that I kind of hounded her a little bit because I couldn't get any responses out of her. And I remember saying something like, why are you acting so strange? It's been so long since you acted like this and stuff like that. And I remember saying, what the f***? Yeah, no, you're right. That actually brings back some memories. Yep, so Thursday wasn't a good day.
Yeah.
So that,
Maybe she wasn't home on Thursday then. Because I remember texting her stuff like, why are you acting so strange when not in person? That was over texting. So I was doing that with during the day on Thursday.
because you don't work and she works normally from home on Thursdays, so how do you not?
always, but no, she didn't.
She wasn't at work on Thursday.
Okay, so she was home.
I don't know, you're the one that was home, not me.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. All I'm saying is I remember texting her this. And I can't imagine I would be saying that to her. Maybe that was the day she had shown it, but maybe. Oh, she went to the Cocos that day too.
Mm-hmm.
She went to the Cocos that day.
Why did she go there?
I don't know. I asked her that. I remember asking her why. She told me that she was going to the Cocos, and I remember saying why. And she said, because I want to.
Mm-hmm.
So now I remember. Yeah. So I assume. I don't know. It's confusing to me. I don't have a.
When was the last verbal argument you had with her? We're all couples. It happens. So
Yeah.
don't.
A verbal argument. I wouldn't say we had a verbal argument this week. That's not me.
Tell us about some of your verbal arguments, though. Based on what we learned, Adam, these were pretty heated. They got bad.
Verbally.
So tell us
Yeah.
about
Tell
that.
us about it.
Because you're kind of saying that we're good, it's fine. But that's not.
If he's seeing another
Yeah.
guy, I'd be pissed.
Like,
Yeah, but you
I mean, you can show your emotion. People get angry. If your significant other is seeing somebody else, I'd be pissed. Not just her, I'd be angry.
but
you gotta remember that we've been through this before. But through our 7 years together.
okay. But
Okay.
tell us about some of your arguments when you get verbally angry with each other. I mean, tell me more about that.
I honestly wouldn't say we wouldn't yell at each other or anything like that. I would refuse to say that that's true. But it would just be very hostile in the sense that I'm trying to think of an example. We wouldn't yell or hate each other or anything like that. No, it would just be a quick why are you doing this, or quit doing that, or quit accusing me of that, or something like that.
You indicated that you had told her, you had started saying something about, you had told her you don't want her messaging Spencer in the house.
Yeah, while we're still in the same house.
So while you're in the same house, you don't want her texting or messaging Spencer. Okay. And I believe you on that. I believe that you said that because she said that to a couple people. She said, he doesn't want me doing this. She also said that you made a commentary that if she doesn't listen, that she's going to end up like Gabby Petito.
The Gabby Petito case captured national attention after she had vanished during a road trip with her boyfriend in Wyoming. It was a case that ended with her boyfriend's written confession in a notebook before he took his life. A familiar pattern emerges in Adam's case, withholding key information until directly confronted. But nothing could have prepared the detectives for what he reveals next.
That's what she told several people, and we interviewed those people, and they told us that individually, not having talked with each other.
Yep, I know what you're talking about. So this was a consumption that this was when that was going down. When I don't know when the Gabby Petito thing happened in 20 something like that. But I just remember I was infatuated with the case. It was a manhood thing. I was just into the news on it. And I can remember it very vividly. I went outside. I think I put trash outside or something. I came back in, and then I came up behind her and I hugged her. And it was so stupid. I was just trying to make a joke, but I hugged her behind her and I said, "You don't end up like Gabby Petito, do you?" And I know that was really bad. That was a very stupid joke, but it was honestly just a joke, moment, and inappropriate. But yeah, this was when that was happening. Nothing like that recently. No, this is when that case was going on.
Were you guys joking around that day? Were you on that day? What was it like that day?
No, like I said, it was literally just a joke, and it was just,
Yeah, it's not a very good joke.
I know, and it makes me look bad. I get that. Yeah, that is the truth. I don't know what else to say.
I appreciate explaining this.
Yeah, right. This happened. It was at the townhouse. I don't remember what year.
When she told the other people, she said it occurred during a time when you guys were a possible breakup, and that's when you made that statement.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, that's what she's saying to her friends.
Okay.
And you said she doesn't lie, and it sounds like she tells you to your face that she's seeing someone new. So.
From what?
So I mean, that's a pretty interesting statement that she's
No,
making, and I'm trying to learn about her through her words to other people, through her phone, through her coworkers, through her friends, through her family, through you. And I can tell you that it appears that this relationship was not going super well, to the point that she's wanting to get out of there as soon as possible.
I would agree with the last thing you just said about wanting to get out of there as soon as possible, because if that was the case, it would have happened a while ago.
Let me ask you about a couple of things quick. So, in the backyard, we found some burned up material.
True.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit of a pyromaniac, and we have a burn pit or whatever. And sometimes I would just burn some cardboard.
Okay, so when you burn it, did you use that big, huge fire pit, or there was a little one right now on your patio with a thing that goes on top? Yeah, the lid
I don't know
on
what big one you're talking about.
it. Isn't there like one with a brick outlining in the backyard?
Oh, that used to be a tree.
Oh, okay, so
Our
there's a
landlord
tree in
said
there?
that cut down once.
Okay, I didn't go up to it, I just looked at it from a distance. Okay, so that's just that's not a fire pit.
No, that was a tree that they cut down.
So that little fire pit, you like to go out there, so when's the last time you burned something?
This week. I don't know what day it is. This week though, good. Last week.
Was it Friday?
No, Friday. No, I don't think I put anything on Friday.
Okay.
Adam admits to threatening Madeline, but tries to downplay it, brushing it off as a joke. The detectives, however, aren't convinced. Their attention then turns to a burn pile discovered on Adam's property, and the unsettling question lingers. Was it used to destroy evidence or something far worse?
Okay, and would you burn cardboard?
Cardboard, toilet bottles. There was a shirt that Noah had that had puke on it, puke stain from a guy.
Okay.
I think there were a couple spots that had holes in them. Windows. I think clean shit.
Okay, and you just, so how do you put the fire out?
It just goes out on its own.
Just goes out?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I would sit out there and watch.
Sure,
But,
sure.
yeah.
Okay.
All I know is the other one, especially when children's going having a really hard time. It's like,
You know,
it's hard.
you notice,
Adam, do you know where Maddie is?
do I know where Maddie is?
Do you know where Maddie is?
No.
Do you have anything to do with her disappearance?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Here's our chance to talk openly about it. I don't want to accuse you of anything, but I also want to give you a chance to talk about it if you want to talk about it, because we will continue our investigation. And we are piecing things together. Your story's not right now, so things are starting to unravel a little bit. We just want to give you that chance to fix things or just,
What I told you is the honest truth from my perspective.
Adam, I noticed you have like a scratch on your nose, a little bit on your neck. What happened there?
and your forehead.
Well, I have 2 kids, and I have 2 dogs at home, and I have a home gym at the home. I don't know, the kids scratch each other. You talking about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on
And
your,
you have,
That's
can I see
probably-
your forehead bun again?
That's probably from the dogs. Or Ellie. Ellie does that too. She pretends she's a monster and she go like this.
okay, do you have some on your neck too?
Right here?
Well, you're rubbing it, so you're trying to make it not visible.
Oh,
It's not
There it
rubbing.
is, yeah, okay. Okay, so,
I think completely,
I know, but
But, like,
we
you're-
have to
you're
be
starting-
on, I know, because I'm getting frustrated and it's probably.
she's been up a long time too.
Probably because
I
we're
get it.
lacking
Kinda.
sleep, and I'm frustrated because, like everybody else, we want to,
of course.
we want to find,
Adam, I guess like Anita said, there's just some things that aren't adding up, you know? So, what, these scratches, your Ellie plays with you, kind of claws you.
Yeah, you can even ask her. So,
Did she do this recently to you?
Yes, because I put, Noah had one on her shoulder right here, and I asked Ellie about it, and she said, that, yeah, she did it to him at daycare.
When did it happen to you?
I don't think you do. It happens all the time.
So, okay.
but you know, the timing of it makes it a little suspicious.
Okay, I get it.
Okay.
So I'm just saying,
Yeah, I
that's
get
why
it.
we're
I
addressing
get
it.
it. Okay.
Okay.
And that's my responsibility. 2 kids and 2 crazy dogs at home.
Like went crazy.
Well, if you-
The lab
If
wasn't.
you saw, well, no, that's my dad's dog, but
Okay.
the other one, my sister's dog.
When questioned about the fresh scratches on his face and neck, Adam scrambles for an explanation, blaming his kids, the dogs, and even a home gym. But his answers are scattered, inconsistent, and noticeably defensive. The hesitations, the shifting blame, and the need to justify each mark raise flags. In a high-stakes case like this, unexplained injuries aren't just a detail, they're potential evidence. And Adam's inability to account for them only sharpens the detective's focus on him. They are done tiptoeing around the truth, and it is time to confront Adam with the glaring inconsistencies in his story.
I guess, Adam, like I said, the story's just not totally adding up, and I'll kind of try to explain that to you a little bit here, but I guess I can't figure out why you want to bring her with you to Choice. I mean, you said, I got gas and van and stuff ready to go, I'm going to leave soon. When do you have to leave? Are you just going to stay home?
I never tried to.
Okay, so you weren't trying to get her, but you're just letting her know you're leaving?
Yeah.
And when do you have to leave? I guess what I'm wondering why it matters when she's gonna leave.
Because she was still there.
Yep.
Because I was still there and I knew that she hadn't left yet.
But
And
but
usually she leaves earlier than that.
but why do you care? You guys are not really together. You're separated, but you're living in the same house, but you're separated.
You always tell her when you leave the house?
Usually.
But
You don't go downstairs and talk to him and text her. Because you don't talk much.
This past week or two, yeah.
okay, and it says that you're just gonna stay home. I guess I'm just wondering why you care about that, because I would think you would just you guys are basically separated. Thursday was a bad day. You're not really gelling out together. I mean, you're not really. It's not good, and that's based on what Maddie's telling. It's not good. So I'm just wondering why you care if she's just gonna stay home or go to work.
I guess what prompted me to ask that was because usually she leaves because this was 10:30 or so. And usually if she goes to the office
Okay.
on Friday, she usually leaves already.
So okay, so you're just being inquisitive,
I was
wondering,
just trying to, yeah, I was
wondering,
trying to ask like, when you gonna leave? Or,
and she didn't reply to you.
I didn't get any response from her on Thursday. The last text I got from her was that Apple Pay for $20.
Okay, and that was at 8:14 a.m. So your next text is at 1:33 p.m. and it's I'm back in my car, still here? Question mark. You get a ride or something? All right, at least let me know if you'll be back for pickup. Any plans for supper? These are all kind of coming in at fairly similar times after like around 1:33. So I'm just wondering,
That's when I was home.
right?
Yeah.
But you said just at 1:33 p.m. I'm back here and my car is. I'm back and my car is still here. Did you get a ride or something? That's 1:30. You said you were home at noon.
Like 2 hours prior.
Yeah, I told you that
Or-
when I got back home after I met the van, I just sat on the couch and played on the laptop for a while. I didn't text her right away.
But you text me probably later.
I guess I'm kind of wondering why you're at 1:30 after you've been home for a while. Why you are wondering then if you got a ride or something. At least, all right. At least let me know if you'll be back for pickup. But yeah, you texted her this instead of going downstairs to see if she's even in the house.
That's what I did after I sent that text. I went downstairs.
But you said you were home for a little while before you went downstairs.
Correct.
But you had just got home at 1:30 because we have your van on camera at going through Rushford at 12:50.
So it was later than I was, okay.
So
Could that be possible?
It very well could have been. Yeah, I don't have a watch or anything. Well, I'm just saying
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
I'm-
hyper focused on the time.
but I am hyper focused on the time. I want to know the timeline, and you're creating some areas that you're creating some time frames that I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get your help on that.
Sure.
As the detectives press further, Adam's timeline starts to fray. He struggles to explain why he texted Madeline instead of simply checking on her in the same house. His answers meander, jumping from vague explanations to defensive justifications. The investigators aren't just asking about texts and timestamps. They're poking holes in his logic, exposing contradictions in real time. Why was he so concerned about when Madeline was leaving if they were separated? Why wait hours to notice she hadn't responded? This line of questioning isn't random, it's calculated. By getting Adam to commit to a specific sequence of events, they're tightening the timeline. And the more he talks, the more the cracks begin to show. Adam's story is unraveling, and the strain is written all over his face. But the detectives are just getting started.
So, do you think you really were at Quick Trip at 10:29? You said got gas, a van, stuff ready to go, gonna leave soon at 10:29. So, I'm thinking you're at 10:30. You're getting about ready to go. So you said you were at Quick Trip at 10:15, right? But you're not going to Rushford until 11, almost noon. So what happened between 10:30 when you said got gas and van and stuff and I'm ready to go, gonna leave soon here? When do you have to leave? What's going on? I mean, it doesn't take, if you left at 10:30 and you didn't go anywhere else, you would have been in Rushford probably by 10:55 noon or 11,
Yeah.
but you're not going to Rushford till noon.
Almost noon.
So I'm wondering where this other hour in the morning is. What's going on there?
I don't know what to say. I organized some more stuff in the garage. Like after I got it loaded up, I did spend a little bit of time, nothing like an hour, just moving stuff in the garage for the next load.
During the afternoon, Adam will continue the text. You say any plan for supper, which also is confusing to me since you guys are basically separate, but I can maybe see if you're trying to do stuff with kids. Well, you said you guys ate out a lot that week, so I'm.
And the kitchen shows it. It didn't look like we were cooking this week.
You then said, Maddie, please just let me know you're okay, and if you'll be back for pickup, I might take Noah to Grandpa's tonight. All right, I'm leaving now to pick up the kids. If you get back to me, I can come home. Otherwise, I'm going to take me both to Grandpa's. So, I mean, it's at sometime between 1:30 and around 1:30 because these messages come all in together. So when they, you know, when you send a text message at 1:33 on here, see how you sent one at 10:29? Right after you sent this message at 10:29, you sent this one. You're just gonna stay home. You
I
see?
sent those probably at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah.
So then you got this one. It says 1:33 p.m. and you see how there's no break in those texts.
It does. Usually there will be a break. If you swipe to the side, it'll show you the timestamps of everything.
So that being said, what time do you think you sent that text to her about you were gonna get the kids?
I don't know.
Well, at what time did you realize, I wonder if I have to get them or she's gonna
Probably
go?
around 3. I'm gonna start thinking about that in 3 or so. Sometimes she'd get home at 3, sometimes she'd get home at 3:30, sometimes she'd get home until just before pickup.
And I'll ask again, do you know where Maddie is?
No,
Did you have anything to do with her disappearance?
I do not.
Okay. You're infatuated with the Gabby Petito story, your own words.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, when like the manhunt stuff was going on.
My biggest fear right now is that this is
No, I get it.
mimicking that case.
I get it.
And the guy that's infatuated that case is sitting right in front of me. And he's doing a really good job keeping it together, and I'm not buying it.
I'm not either.
And I'm not, I just want to find her.
No,
For your kids. I just think you're dealing with a lot here. I think you've been dealing with a lot here. You have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old together. So I think something happened in that apartment.
But from you guys' perspective, why would I hurt or make the mother of my children disappear?
Because you're pissed.
As detectives present the evidence against him, Adam remains in complete denial. He offers no useful information and shows little concern for the missing mother of his children. Detectives confront Adam with gaps in his timeline, inconsistencies in his story, and a chilling parallel: his fascination with the Gabby Petito case. But even when faced with the emotional weight of Madeleine's disappearance, Adam deflects, denies, and detaches. It's not just his answers that trouble investigators, it's what's missing. No urgency, no fear, no real grief. On June 7th, 2023, Madeleine's remains were found in a culvert near the property of Adam's parents. Investigators had tracked Adam's movements that day, capturing him on surveillance, driving Madeleine's van with its license plate swapped toward his parents' home. There, police discovered computers that had been trashed and burned. But one of the most chilling pieces of evidence came on April 9th, 2023, just 9 days after Madeleine's disappearance. Adam was seen driving a UTV with what appeared to be a shovel in the back. Taken together, the trail of destruction, deception, and digital erasure left no doubt. Adam Fravel hadn't just orchestrated a cover-up, He had, in fact, committed the unthinkable. In November 2024, following a 3-week trial, a jury found Adam Fravel guilty of premeditated first-degree murder. Under Minnesota law, the conviction carries a mandatory life sentence in prison without the possibility of parole.
Mr. Fravel, it is the judgment of this court that you be committed to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections and sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of release. Mr. Fravel, do you have any questions, or is there anything else you'd like to say?
I never caused harm to Maddie, and I am innocent. Thank you.
The facts laid bare that she was attacked and killed by a coward twice her size, someone who she had once loved. She had made the audacious decision that she didn't deserve to be used or abused by him anymore. With that decision, her future was now looking bright, whereas life with him had been bleak and miserable. Unfortunately, she fatally misjudged him. When he realized that he couldn't control or manipulate her any longer, he decided to kill her. For my final goodbye to my beautiful daughter, I held her, talked to her, sung to her, and promised we'd get her justice.
Madeline will forever be remembered and loved. Her children will know who their mother is and was. They will also know when they're old enough what happened to her, and that their father is the monster who took her from them. We will be there with them to carry them through the hard times and guide them through life as Madeline would have.